One does not simply walk into Mordor. The land of shadow.
Hey everybody, welcome back. As promised today, I was going to do another shadow cast on the Lord of the Rings of Power, featuring Adar, who is sort of the evil character we've seen thus far in the series, in the trailers, and also discuss the Southlands, which was a featurette that came out last week that sort of shows audiences a area of Middle Earth in the Second Age that will be featured in the series. Now, I'll just jump right in here and say I think anyone who has seen the Southlands featurette knows that they are discussing Mordor. They don't come out and say it, but it's pretty obvious if you look at the two maps. There's a map in the beginning and you look at a map of Mordor, you can sort of see, you can even see Mount Doom there in the upper part of the map. And then it seems to be focused on the area known as Nurnen, which is the farmlands that were used by Sauron with his slaves to feed his armies in Mordor. Now this comes later, of course, in the Third Age, but I think that's what this area is. So it tells us a lot about many things we have seen and wondered about in the trailers, the castle, the attack on the castle, where Adar is featured, Arondir, and several of the other characters all kind of converge in some of these clips, and we can see, and it's also in the clip that I showed yesterday, the double feature clip, reaction video where I showed Sauron's army, and I think there's some information there I'm going to be bringing in here. If you haven't seen either of those clips, you can go here to see them. I'll have the link for one and then the link for the next one right after that, and you can take a peek at them if you haven't seen them yet. So anyway, let's go ahead and dive in and we'll discuss Adar and his attack on the Southlands. Let's begin this shadow cast with a look at the Southlands featurette.
Hundreds of years ago, the Southlanders sided with the wrong side.
From the war, where we sided with evil.
They've paid for that ever since. They've been outcast.
Hardworking, it's what they are, because they don't have much.
They sort of had to start from scratch and rebuild.
So the elves took it upon themselves to make sure they wouldn't step to the dark side again. So they've been occupying this territory for hundreds of years.
When are you people gonna let the past go?
Past is with us all.
Men did not do this.
Warn your people.
There is anger towards the current situation with the Southlanders, but there's also hope.
Who will stand with me?
Encouraging them, their future can be a better future.
Who among you will stand and fight?
Before I get any further, there are a potential set of spoilers ahead, so be warned. The story threads of Adar, Arundel, Theo, and Bronwyn come together in the Southlands. Amazon has created a series of featurettes titled Stories of the Second Age. They have released 3 so far, but I think there may be a 4th. They have one on the Southlands, one on Linden, one on Khazad-dûm, and I have provided links to each one of them. If you look below, you'll see them. Each of these featurettes begin with a map of the region, and in this one you can clearly see that the Southlands lay within the borders of Mordor. Compare these two maps. You can see Anduin. You can see Mount Doom up in the very top there. You can see the Sea of Nirn. And you see Poros on the left along the river Anduin. So this is clearly Mordor before the coming of Sauron. It's funny, it seems all along that we have been seeing images of Mordor and didn't even know it. The elven fortress and tower we've seen in promo images and in the trailers is located in the Southlands. If you look closely here, you can see that the tower is standing watch over the village. I believe this is the fortress we have seen attacked by the orcs, led by Adar. It's interesting that the character Waldridge, who speaks the name of Sauron to Theo,
if you heard of him, lad, if you heard of Sauron,
appears to be in league with Adar. It is Waldridge, I think, who is seen walking beside Adar as they march on the tower. This character is definitely a human among orcs. I think Arendelle flees the overwhelmed fortress with Bronwyn and Theo, who escape while he himself gets captured by the orcs. One thing I wanted to point out here in this image of the tower that we see from the trailer, if you zoom in, there's a mountain in the background that looks suspiciously like Mount Doom. Could this be Orodruin? Perhaps. So who is Adar? The character appears to be a fallen and tortured elf under the will of Sauron. We have seen his pointy ears, and rumors have stated that he is an elf. The orcs shout Adar, Adar, Adar during the battle as a rallying cry, which translates in Sindrin as Father, Father, Father. Interesting. Some rumors claim that Adar may be one of Galadriel's brothers, either Angrod or Agenor, who both died in the War of Wrath. This is a possibility, but it is unlikely and goes against canon. The only way this would work if they were not actually killed but were taken by the dark powers, perhaps Sauron, and tortured into a ruined elf. Some claim, like the rumor about Adar being one of the brothers of Galadriel, that he is actually a character, one of the elves from the First Age. I personally just don't feel this to be true. I think he is simply a new character. He may well be a tortured and ruined elf. Tolkien himself was conflicted about the origin of the orcs, and his writing reflects this. He couldn't seem to make up his mind what the origin of the orcs was. I don't think he liked the idea that orcs were ruined and tortured elves, even though earlier he had stated this. So it seems to be that this is a question that is still going to be up in the air until we see more of the show. It may be that Adar can be a ruined and tortured elf and narrowly fit within canon. But again, we'll just have to wait and see. There are two additional rumors about Adar that I want to discuss. One states that he has a falling out with Sauron, who does appear in Season 1. The rumor is that he appears as a frightening and hooded figure. That's all we know so far. But apparently there may be some good in Adar, and he is not fully fallen yet into evil and under the will of Sauron. We'll just have to wait and see on that one. The second rumor is that Adar has been seen talking with a woman near a large waterfall. Could this be Galadriel? Perhaps if he were one of her brothers? Maybe. What that means exactly is hard to say at this point. So it looks like we'll just have to wait and see. I just hope whatever is the origin of Adar, that he fits within canon. I would rather he be a completely new and fictional character added to Tolkien's world than to be a existing character who falls totally out of canon. Anyway, again, like I said, we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this latest shadow cast that featured the Southlands and Adar. We don't know a lot about either yet and how they're going to be featured in the story, but it's sort of exciting to see some of those characters and try and make some guesses about what they're going to be doing in the series. We're right here on the cusp of the show premiering. I know everybody is excited. Middle-earth fans are excited, but there's also a good bit of trepidation. So feel free to post your comments after this video. If you know any more information than I have revealed here, definitely put it in the comments section for everybody else to hear, and or just your ideas about what you think this series is going to be like. Again, before I go, I just want to mention that tomorrow I'm going to have a lore video that will feature the idea of why Sauron chose the land of Mordor to make his assault on Middle-earth. So anyway, I think some of the reasons he did were very obvious, others not so much. So anyway, I'll save all that for tomorrow, and I'll see you guys at the very feet of Mount Doom in the next Shadow